sweating. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I genuinely did not think this was gonna happen right now, but I set it as one of my 2025 goals and I'm sticking to it. It has been almost 5 years, which is crazy to think about, or probably 4. I think my last video was like 2021, but that was after like not uploading for a long time. So let's just call it 5. I am so nervous, like my heart is beating out of my chest. I'm sweating. It's definitely been a long time coming. It's not like I just woke up today and I was like, I'm gonna go back on YouTube. It's something I have been thinking about for a really long time. I just didn't know how and when to start. And I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I'm comfortable doing it and I'm really excited. I feel like I'm going on a first date, you know? Like I feel like I'm just starting all over again, and which I am. I have a lot of things on my computer here that I'm gonna be just looking at because I don't want to forget anything important. So bear with me as I take you through pretty much memory lane, where I've been the last 4 or 5 years, why I was away, what things happened. And of course, this is going to be like more of a series. I am going to do more videos of things I've learned and things that I no longer do. It's like a whole comeback series that I could do. But just for today, I'm going to be going through pretty much my last 4 or 5 years, being really open and vulnerable with you guys. And I hope you guys will stick around. So let's just get right in because it's going to be a long one. So a little backstory for those who don't know, I started my YouTube channel back in 2014 when I graduated high school. It was back in the day when the term influencer or content creator didn't even exist. I would just say I'm a YouTuber and everyone was like, what is that? It was not like normal to take your camera everywhere, film yourself. Like it was definitely a very intimidating thing. In the beginning, I strictly uploaded like makeup and hair tutorials. And I started then going into like favorites videos, try on hauls, and then I started dabbling in the world of fitness and weight loss. And these were the videos that really started to take off for me because I feel like I was very open and honest about my struggles with my body and my weight that I had been affected by my whole life. And I think it was at a time that people weren't being like as open and vulnerable. So it resonated with a lot of people. It was a time that fitness influencers, even the beauty influencers, everything was like cookie cutter perfect. And this isn't to say that like my weight loss and fitness journey was perfect. It was far from that. I definitely had parts of my life and my journey that I was not showing and that were far from perfect. And I had my struggles with binge eating, feeling a lot of guilt for like having cheat meals, and I would work out way more than I needed to be doing it, and I would feel guilty if I skipped a day at the gym. It was definitely to an extreme that was not healthy, which I think I've come a long way since. Like I think I'm gonna struggle with that my whole life, just like finding a good balance. So I grew my channel to 120,000 subscribers, which is something that I am so proud of till this day. I have my plaque hanging here on the wall of my closet and I look at it every single day when I walk in, and I feel like when I would feel like I wasn't worthy of coming back to YouTube and all of that stuff, which I'll get into it later, but I minimized how much I accomplished, and I forget like 120,000 people is a lot of people, you know, like if you actually just picture that in like an arena. And I didn't realize like how much of an impact I could make, because I think like people would just go viral overnight and get like millions of followers, and I was like, who's gonna want to watch rusty old me who hasn't uploaded in years versus the people that are posting consistently? And I think I got in my own way. And for a long time, I was just like, yeah, this is like, I'll just let somebody else do it because they're probably going to do a better job at it. Fast forward to 2019. It was December of 2019, and I always knew I wanted to start my own business. I finally decided to take the leap and start my business, which is called Linked, and it is an online jewelry business. And I wanted to start off the year with it like just officially registered and be able to pour my energy into it all year and kind of set it as like the yearly goal. Of course, 2 months later, the pandemic hit, so much uncertainty. Here I am trying to start a jewelry business, online jewelry business from scratch, not knowing anything, not having any experience starting a business. I partnered with my best friend Carla, and we worked our butts off for the next 8 months to pretty much get everything like going. We didn't know how to do anything. We were reaching out to manufacturers, designing our packaging, pretty much finding local suppliers that we could buy raw materials like pearls and stuff, and taking our own product pictures, editing everything, doing our own website. We even taught ourselves how to hand make jewelry. So we launched Linked September of 2020, which has been such an incredible experience. I have learned so much just being hands-on because we're two people managing our business, and like we've had to learn absolutely everything. We have worked with some incredible content creators, and we even had the chance to do curated collections with Rachel Love, Katie Fawn. We did one with Manana, and we also recently did one with Tatiana, who they've all had like such different collections and they've been so stunning. We've designed everything together and we hand make majority of the pieces that we sell. So it truly is just like so nice to see like the vision come to life. So if you haven't checked this out, I would highly suggest it. You can find us across all platforms at Shop Linked. It's LINKD. Pretty much everything that you guys usually see me wearing is part of ours. So if I wouldn't wear it, we don't sell it. So moving on to April/May of 2021. I went through one of the many breakups I've been through because I'm just a serial long-term relationship girly. And I wasn't feeling great after that breakup. I feel like a lot of the breakups that I've had, I've usually felt so empowered in a way after the breakups. Like I'm always like, this is gonna be my season. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna get the hottest I've ever been. Like, you know. And this one was tough because there were so many things going on at the time. It's not necessarily because the person was awful or anything like that, but more so like the lack of compatibility and just the way that the relationship made me feel at the end. I questioned myself a lot and my insecurities were at an all-time high. I'm pretty confident in who I am, what I want. Like insecurities have never necessarily gotten in the way of me doing anything or, you know, like sure, I've had my moments. Sure, I've had things that I wish I could change and that were different, but like I didn't question every little thing that I said or did, and that's how I was feeling during this time. Compatibility is so important in relationships, and finding someone that just complements you and that you really like feel safe around and that you can like be yourself and that they're gonna love you no matter what is so important. Because one thing is being like insecure about how the world is gonna perceive you and like strangers, but another thing is like the person that you're the most intimate with and the closest to that you would hope would love you no matter what. Like when you can't feel safe and secure in that, that's like recipe for disaster. That breakup lasted about a month or so, like of going back and forth. And at the end of May of 2021, I will be completely honest with you guys because that's just how I am. I can help one person. That's always like what I tell myself, and that's what I'm here for. So in May of 2021, I was diagnosed with SIN3 carcinoma in situ, which basically it is the most advanced stage of cervical dysplasia. And in situ just means that the abnormal cells are present, but they haven't spread. So they just need to be removed to prevent them from spreading and progressing into cervical cancer. I'm not gonna lie, it was absolutely terrifying. I was told by the doctor that I had to have a LEAP procedure right away, which is basically you go under anesthesia and they cut out a piece of your cervix that has the abnormal cells so that they don't spread. And of course, there's a lot of risks to this, especially if you haven't had kids yet. I felt my whole world was coming down on me and that my dreams of being a mother, I'm not gonna cry, it's been a long time, but were like shattered, right? And that is like one of my biggest goals in life. This just like was the cherry on top. Going through the breakup, then this, I was feeling so low and just so unworthy, and I felt like, well, like what if I can't ever have kids again? Like who's gonna want to be with me? And you know, you think of the absolute worst. So it was a very dark time in my life for sure. I'm the kind of person that to everybody else I portray like I have my shit together, but I will say that was one of the times where I was like, wow, this sucks, you know? And that's when pretty much I stopped posting on YouTube. So I had my surgery, and basically I have to go in for a checkup every 6 months to make sure that nothing progresses. And everything has been coming back clear, so thank God for that. Which reminds me, I need to make an appointment. The point of mentioning this, obviously, is to walk you through my last couple of years, but I just want to share this and bring awareness to this because I just want to remind you how important it is to go and get your checkups. Sometimes they're annoying, sometimes they're expensive, but it's way better to find things out when it's early and there's still time to treat it than when it's too far gone. So ladies, don't skip your checkups. This one's fun. Summer of that same summer, I was like, you know what? I'm getting my lips dissolved. I had a sausage of an upper lip, which I look back at pictures and videos of that time and like even before when I was still on YouTube, and I'm like, what was that on my upper lip? Like I was literally like this. So I am on my way to get my lips dissolved. I've never done this before. I'm actually really, really scared. More than scared, I'm nervous because I haven't seen my lips not filled like at all for many years. And it's not so much my bottom lip, but my top lip is like this naturally. So I am not ready to see myself. Oh my God. You guys. I'm dying. I'm literally about to cry. Update on the lips. It's been a week so far, and I actually really like the way that my lips look. Now when I smile, you can actually see my teeth, which I like. It looks a lot more natural. I feel like I look younger. So this is not filled. I like that you can see my smile. So now it's just adding a little bit here to the ridge. I am so obsessed. You guys, I've never had like that ridge. I'm happy. I have much less filler now, but I still have some filler. I don't go in multiple times a year like I used to. Like maybe I haven't gone in almost a year. And for Botox as well, like I'm definitely not doing as much as I used to, which I think now I'm like, I was so young and like, yes, it's preventative and whatnot, or so they say, but I'm like, I don't know if I needed it, to be honest. This same summer, I met my current boyfriend, Ian. He was fresh off the plane from Sacramento and not influenced by the crazy Miami life. We met, I think, just a month after he got to Miami, and the story of how we met is actually a really fun one, so I think I will do that in another video, maybe in a Q&A. He truly is so kind, just a genuine good person, and he is so supportive of everything that I do. I will formally introduce him in another video. Maybe we do a fun little video, but he deserves way more than just like a short little intro. If you've been following me on Instagram, then you've seen pictures of him. So this isn't necessarily like new news, but I do have a boyfriend. And we're gonna turn 4 years this July, which is crazy. 1 year later, May of 2022, that was the year that I experienced the most loss in my life. So prior to that, I had an uncle pass away. But other than that, I hadn't experienced like loss like very close to me. So May of 2020, I lost both of my grandparents just a month apart. I grew up in Mexico for 10 years, and that's where I was born. That's where I lived till I was 10 before we moved to the States. And I basically grew up going to their house every Tuesday and Saturday. It was mandatory. Like it was not optional, straight from school on Tuesdays, and then Saturdays everyone would get together there. We always had the most delicious food, and my grandma lived for hosting. Like she was the hostess with the mostest. But when I moved to the US, I would only see my grandparents like probably once or twice a year, usually once for Christmas. So I went from seeing them all the time for 10 years of my life to not much. And when we all couldn't travel because of the pandemic, I didn't see them for probably over a year. And then the last time that I flew to Mexico because my grandma had passed away, I got to see my grandpa, and I didn't know that was the last time I was going to see him. So just a couple of weeks later, he passed away, which they were married for so long. My grandpa was 98, I think, at the time that he passed. So I think he was just died of a broken heart, but also he had other health conditions. But I think like it was no coincidence that it was just a month apart. And then 6 months after that, I lost my dad. And this one was really hard because, oh, why am I crying? My dad struggled with COPD for a really long time. Like, we always knew that like this would take a toll on him. My dad went from using oxygen like occasionally here and there to catch his breath to pretty much relying on the oxygen 24/7. And that was honestly really hard to watch because in his mind, like he was still so young, he was in his late 60s, and he was always so optimistic about living and life, and like he would be so out of breath, could only breathe with 15% of his lungs. Like that was his lung capacity. But yet he was always like, some technology is going to come out that is going to fix me. And he was convinced that something was going to come out that he was going to be able to do and that he was going to get better. And looking back at it now, I'm like, he truly was such a warrior. Like, and he was so excited to live, but yet he lived an incredible life because of everything that he had, but like a miserable one in terms of health. So I definitely do live with a lot of guilt for not being around more, especially like during that time. I missed his last birthday because I was traveling. You know, like you can't help but put so much guilt on yourself for all the things that you could have done differently. But, you know, like I'm trying to work through that because it's just not the way to think about it. But I will say my dad was always so proud of me and what I had accomplished, especially with YouTube. I remember we went to a jewelry store. He was gonna buy me a Christmas gift or a birthday gift, I don't remember. And I'm like looking around and I just start to hear my voice playing somewhere. I was like, wait, I'm hearing myself. And that's like one of my biggest nightmares. Like when people that I know are like watching or listening to my videos, I could crawl into a hole. So I'm looking around the store. There's a full store, Christmas time, I think. And then I look and it's my dad who made the sales associate pull up my YouTube channel on the store computer and they were watching my videos. It was nice to have him be so proud of me for that. And he actually even bought me my first camera that I filmed all my YouTube videos with. So he was so supportive of that. So I will close it off there on a positive note. That brings us to last year, which was truly a year of friendship. I don't want to say I've struggled with friendship, but I'm definitely like a quality over quantity type of girl. And I'm definitely introverted, but I can be extroverted at times. I've struggled to have like a lot of girlfriends, but the girlfriends that I do have are like ride or die, like amazing, incredible friends. Last year, I was like, it was one of my goals. I was like, I want to make more girlfriends because I felt like either some of them had moved away, some of them I had kind of like drifted apart with, and I only had like one or two really, really close ones. And one of them is my business partner, so I see her all the time. So I just got comfortable with like, oh, I see my friend multiple times a week. So I just focus on meeting new people. And there is one friend in particular that was truly like, we say this, but it was like the best thing that came out of 2024, and that is Lisa. So if you guys aren't familiar with Lisa, if you're not following me on Instagram, which I have posted with her a lot on there, like trips and dates and whatever, she has a heart of gold. She is actually one of the reasons why I decided to come back on YouTube, because she was like, she used to watch my videos and she was like, you need to start posting. Actually, the first night that we went out on a little friend date, we were there for 4 hours, pretty much getting kicked out of the restaurant, but we were just yapping away all night. Like we just clicked and bonded like no other. I've never experienced that before. And she was telling me, she's like, I used to follow you on YouTube and I would watch all your videos and I loved all your vlogs. And she's like, you need to start posting. And I was like, who is going to care to see me anymore? And she was like, you need to start posting. So I always wanted to come back to YouTube, but I do feel like because of her putting that like pressure on me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And she made it feel less daunting, just like coming back. And she's also in the content creation world. She has her own jewelry brand. She has her own podcast called Unwinding. And if you're not following it, you need to go follow it. She is like the best friend that you can have, like just a button away. Has the best advice, whether it's like dating, friendship, life. Like, I love her so much. I hope that everyone gets to experience a friendship like this at some point in their life. But that pretty much brings us to where we are now. I still have my precious little Ollie is still with us. He's gonna be 9 years old this year. And I can't believe it because I still remember doing the video where I introduced Ollie, where I was like, here's my puppy. And I can't believe that was almost 9 years ago. He is my absolute world. And he's the most loving, precious little thing. And you have been worth every little penny you've cost me. He has had a lot of health issues, but we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But he's the best, and I don't know what I would do without him, or if something happened to him, and I'm not gonna talk about that because I will literally start crying. He has been with me through the toughest times in my life, through all the breakups. I don't know how I would have gotten through it without you. But we also have another little member that joined, Milo. He's a little crazy. Okay, so this is Milo. This is he is a 1.5-year-old precious little Cocker Spaniel. And he is a psychotic. Look at him. He loves toilet paper and he loves messing with Ollie. They love each other, but it's like that brotherly love. This is your YouTube debut. Say hi. He has the longest eyelashes. Like, I need to know what serum you used, sir. So that is pretty much the update. I'm so sorry if this has been so long. I feel like so many things have changed, but at the same time, so many things are still the same. YouTube has always been such a comfort place for me, and I always find myself gravitating back to my favorite YouTubers. Like, I'll have my weeks where I'm like just on a TikTok scroll every day, but like YouTube always has my heart, you know? So I figured, why not? Let's just do it, right? Like, if it's not now, then when? I'm only gonna keep pushing it. I truly just need to stop getting in my own way because I see so many people that have started and are just killing it, and I'm like, as an earth sign, I'm always trying to find a solution to things. Like, if I have a girlfriend that's like, oh, my hair is dry and it's breaking off and it's just falling, I don't know what to do. I'm over here sending her links and sharing with her like a hair care routine and all these things. So I'm like, I love doing this. Like, I love sharing the products that I'm using, that I'm loving, the products that I don't like, the things that worked for me. Like, I do that in my day-to-day life. So we are so back. I will do my absolute best to upload 1 video a week for now. And I'm a little rusty, so bear with me. I want to know what kind of videos you guys want to see. I do plan on doing a Q&A video, so if you have questions, put them in the comments down below. You can also DM them to me at Drea Osejo if you feel more comfortable sending them privately. But I just want to thank you guys for sticking around, 1, throughout this whole video if you're still here. 2, for sticking around all these years, watching my channel and supporting me, even though I might just be popping up on your timeline and you're like, I forgot she existed. I hope you guys will join me. I have so many things I want to share, so many new things that I'm doing, and I'm just so excited. I could not be more excited. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love every single one of you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Yeah, we did it!